What's up, Minecrafters? KC here, and this is episode 2 of my new series where I am getting familiar with writing mod scripts for Pocket Edition and then using that to build a world that I created. During the last episode, I went through and built a very simple mod that allows me to obtain any inventory item that I want. And also, I introduced this world that I'm working with. Again, this world is very flat. There's no structure to this world at all. And so it was important for me to be able to obtain some inventory so that I could begin doing some building here. Today I'm going to be using that mod that I wrote to do a few things. First thing is, it is nighttime and I am in survival mode. And if I just look around, I can probably see some hostile mobs out there. And so I want to pretty quickly be able to sleep to switch it back to daytime. So I'm going to do a few things first, just using the new command that I created, which was gimme. And this allows me to get or obtain, again, items in my inventory. So the first thing that I'm going to do is to create a bed, which I know is item ID or block ID 355. So I should have a bed in my inventory now. And I will just quickly go use that to... Oh, it's not going to allow me. Monsters close by. So, yeah, maybe I have to hold off on that just a bit. Looking at the moon, it's starting to go down, so it will be turning daylight soon. The other thing that I might do while I'm here is plant a couple of trees. So I'm going to, again, use my gimme command to maybe get a few saplings, which would be item number 6, or I guess that's actually a block ID 6. So I should be able to plant those now. Let's see, I think I'd like to have about maybe 4 blocks between the trees. 3 blocks should be fine. So I can place those there, and I can either allow those to grow, or if I would like them to grow faster, I could create some bone meal. So I may just do that. First thing I probably need would be a crafting table. So give me one crafting table, which is 58. And I will probably need a few bones as well, so I'll grab 10 of those. And those are 352. And if you want to know what those item IDs and block IDs are, you can look those up online. If you just search for Minecraft data values, Pocket Edition, you'll find a page where all those are listed. And so I did not get my crafting table. Let me just do that again. I did not put the slash before my gimme command, which is important. So let me do that now. So I now have my crafting table, and I think I'll just place that over here somewhere sort of close to my bed. And now I can use that crafting table to create some bone meal. And then I'll use that on my trees. So I've now added a few trees to my world. And I might need a chest at some point. So I think I will go ahead and create one of those. And the item number for chest is, let's see, just looking at my computer screen, that's 54. So I created 5 of those. And I'll just place one of those here for now. So I can begin storing the items that I have either created or gathered. So I'm going to go ahead and place these into the chest. And so now, again, with that gimme command, I can begin, creating my world. And so one of the things that I said I wanted to do during the last episode was I wanted to work on that gimme command just a little bit, clean up the code some, make it a little safer, just in terms of checking the syntax when you type in give me. making sure that that's a number and that type of thing. So I think I'm going to work on that portion of the script during this episode and do some testing with that as well. So I'm going to switch over to my code editor window. Okay, I'm back in my code editor now, and you can see the code I worked on before. I'm using the proccmd function to examine the text that was entered into the chat window, and then you can see I'm testing for the word gimme, and then I'm adding the item inventory based on the second and third arguments, which would be the quantity and the block ID to create. So again, what I would like to do is to make sure that both these values, arg sub 2 and arg sub 1, are both numeric before I attempt to do that gimme command, because if you were to pass in a non-numeric value to add item inventory, that may not behave as expected. So I think I'm going to start by just creating a new function here. And so I'm going to call this function, maybe my standard will be to begin with the word do. And so this one would be do gimme, and that's going to accept as a parameter just the args, so that I can look at that, look at those values, and ensure that they are appropriate for what this function should be expecting. So to test for that, I think the first thing that I would want to do is to make sure that that there were 3 values in that array of args. So I think I can do if args.length equals 3. So that would check the first test. And I think that that's correct. One thing I'll have to check to see if length is actually a function call, or if that's sort of what I might call a property of the array object. So I will want to maybe look at that a little closer. And then the other thing that I might check here would be to make sure that the values that are being passed in are both numeric. So if that's true, if the length of the arguments is 3, and I can call this function parseInt on arg sub 1, which would mean that that value has to be numeric. And then I want to do the same thing on arg sub 2. Make sure that's numeric as well. So to get inside of this if condition, you have to pass in 3 arguments. First argument is going to be gimme, and then the second and third arguments should be both numeric of the quantity and the block ID. So if all of that is true, then I think I would want to do the player.add item inventory, passing in the arguments that I've already tested for to make sure that those are numeric. Again, passing in a 0 as that third parameter. So what happens if that's not true? If that's not true, then I would do an else. And basically I'm just going to tell the player, which is me in this case, that that was not successful, that there was something wrong with the command that they had entered. So I think I'm going to do a new function, and I'm going to call this do say. And I can just pass in any type of message here. And one of the functions that I have available to me is called client message. And simply I'm just calling the client message function. And I've separated that out into do say because I may want to take the text that gets passed into message at some point and maybe add some color coding or add some additional messages to it. But for me, in my mod that I'm creating, every time I want to tell the player something, I'm going to call this do say function. So if something fails about the test cases there, args.length not equal to 3, for example, or the arguments that are being passed in, arg_1 and arg_2 are not numeric, then I will tell the player by calling do say, and I'll just do something simple. Gimme what? So I'll know if I type something in wrong and I get that message that I need to re-examine what I was requesting. So to have all this take effect, I need to change my gimme case and call the do gimme function, and simply just passing in the arguments that it should test for. So again, at this point I really just have to review that and see if it looks like that syntactically it's correct, and just kind of reviewing it for logic errors. I don't see anything at this point. Again, the only question I have is whether or not length is a function call. But we will find out pretty quickly when we go to do our test. So I'm going to save my script, and I'm going to switch back over to my block launcher program. Okay, I'm back into Minecraft and block launcher. So again, I would click the wrench icon, manage the modPE scripts. First thing I need to do is to remove my old script and then re-import it. So I'm saving those in my download script folder. Everything seemed to work up until this point. Again, it does not necessarily mean that the code that I wrote will do what I want it to do, but it passed the first test of actually importing the script. So I'm going to reload modWorld, and now I'm going to do some testing for the code that I wrote. So let's say that I do /gimme. I'm not passing in a quantity, I'm not passing in an item ID or a block ID. So let's see what happens if I do that. So that seems to have worked. Gimme what? And so that's implying to me that I didn't use the gimme command properly. And so what I'm thinking there is that that failed because I did not pass in the appropriate text. I did not pass in a quantity or a block ID. So let's try something else. Let's try gimme 1, which really shouldn't do anything. Okay, so that tells me gimme what? Again, I have not got that right. So let's give me 1 of block ID 91, which is, I believe, a jack-o'-lantern. So that seemed to, oops, I didn't do that right. Need to put the slash. Give me 1 block ID 91. So I didn't get a message. I did not get the gimme what, and I have a jack-o'-lantern in my inventory. So it's working successfully, passing in 3 different parameters there. So I want to check a couple more things. Give me 1 of ABC. So ABC is not a valid block ID. It's not numeric. I hope that this will do a gimme what, and it does. And then the other test that I want to perform here is give me ABC, an invalid quantity of a valid block ID of 91. And so it says gimme what. So all those tests that I put in place seem to be working properly, and it's just a little bit of safety, a little bit of type checking to ensure that the command that I entered has all of the proper structure. And so I want to go back now, and I want to do just a little bit more on that function, because there's some things that I might like to be able to ask for by name, maybe ask for a group of items by name. So I am going to just close out of my world here, and I'm going to switch back over to my code editor. So back in the editor, what if I wanted to say, for example, give me tools, and have that automatically put maybe a diamond, pickaxe, axe, sword, and shovel. And so very quickly ask for a set of tools that I can work with. So if I go back here to my do gimme function, I can add an additional else condition here. So else if args.length equals 2, then this would be a command like gimme tools, for example. So what I can do here then is I can say inside of this else if args sub 1 equals tools, then that to my mod will be a valid request. And so if that's the case, then I'm going to add some items into my inventory. So again, I said I would like to add in a diamond, pickaxe, sword, shovel, and axe. So I'm going to add some inventory here. So player.add item inventory. And here I'm going to pass in just a block ID of 276 and a quantity of 1. And again, passing in 0 as the damage value. And then I'm also going to do a player dot add item inventory. I don't think I spelled that correctly. Inventory of 277. A 278. And a 279. Quantity of 1 and a 0 of damage value. So I should now be able to do a /gimme tools and have those things added into my inventory. But I'm inside this condition where args.length is 2, which means I typed in gimme and then one other word or one other value. And so I can have a situation where I did not ask for tools. I asked for something else that my mod really doesn't know how to handle. So if that's the case, then I need to notify the player that that was not a valid request. So what I think I'm going to do to best handle that is I'm going to add a new var here in my function. I'm just going to call it valid, and I'm going to default that to I'll default that to true. So the assumption is that args are correct until I identify through these ifs and elses that it was an invalid set of commands that were passed in. So the invalid situations would be inside this else. So valid is false, or inside of this else, which means that the if and the else if both did not pass the test. And so here I'm going to set valid to false. And then outside of that whole if block, if valid, and I think I can do a not valid there. I believe that that's correct syntax in JavaScript. And again, as I mentioned earlier, I'm still kind of learning JavaScript. So I could say if valid equals false, or equals false, but I think I can also do that not valid there. And so if that's the case, I'm going to do the client message of give me what? Okay, so I think that completes this function. Just a quick review. I'm checking for asking of a certain quantity of a certain item. Otherwise, I'm asking for an item or an item group, if you will, by name. So if I pass in tools, then I do all of that. Otherwise, it's not a valid request. This else means that it didn't pass the args.length equals 3 test or the args.length equals 2 test. So I'm setting the valid false. And then if not valid, then I want to do that client message. So I'm going to save that, and then I'm going to jump back over to my world and test those changes. So again, I need to reload my script. and the script seemed to load properly. And then I will just go into my world, and maybe I will go ahead and place the tools that I have into this chest. Now, if I type in /gimme tools, I did not get a gimme what, which should mean that it went through the proper section of code. And you see now that I do have a set of diamond tools in my inventory. And I'll just do a quick test to make sure I didn't break anything else here. I'll do a /gimme ABC that says give me what, because that's not valid. Give me one of ABC, that's not valid. Give me ABC of 1, that's not valid. And then I need to test just a truly valid situation, so maybe I will just create another crafting table. So give me 1 of block ID 58, and I did not get the what message, and I have a crafting table in my inventory. So I'm pretty happy now with where my gimme command is. And I can always go back if I want to ask for another set of tools, or maybe ask for something by name. I can always extend that do-gimme function by adding in some additional logic to check for what was asked for. But that all seems to be working properly. So I think I will end this episode here, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed working on this. And in episode 2, we'll be picking up where we left from here. So thank you for watching, and I look forward to the next episode.